I thought that I'd recount a couple more stories from my youth when I was growing up on the farm, but before I could make it to the webcam to record it, I I forgot what they were. So they'll come to me eventually, and then I'll upload them because I know one of them, and I remember that one of them made me think, wow, that's really funny. But I can't remember. I know it involved my dad and something he did or I don't know. But anyway, it'll come to me, and when it does, I'll relay that on to YouTube. One thing that the last one that I uploaded, the Fond Memories from the Farm Volume 3, I noticed the tags I left as webcam, and so if you watched it prior to me changing that, all the related videos to that video were porn. But I changed it, so if you were hoping to link up to some porn after watching one of my videos, I'm sorry I ruined that for you. What I would like to mention or recount is a story of my first varsity sport experience. Played nine-man football. I was seventh grader, all of 104 pounds. I didn't even want to go out for football, but in a small town like that, and with my dad having been a very athletic guy in his youth, I really had no choice. He drove me like on the second day of practice because I wasn't going out. I originally had planned to, but I was 104 pounds, and well, the kicker was I didn't have any pubic hair to speak of, none whatsoever. So I basically my groin area looked like a little baby, uh, maybe slightly larger than a baby, but smooth as a baby's groin area. And I'm not trying to be dirty. I have babies, so I know that they don't have pubic hair. Anyway, uh, what I did eventually go out for football the next day, and my dad made me go. And what I soon realized is that what few upperclassmen there really weren't a lot. I think there were a total of like 30 or 40 kids in the high school. And half of those are guys, maybe half of them are football players, maybe. Anyway, what they took great pleasure in was teeing off on seventh and eighth graders, the little tykes, such as myself, and they would get pissed if you jumped out of their way. Like when we were practicing special teams, like kick return, and we were returning and or kickoff, and the varsity players, the upperclassmen were the kickoff team and were the return team. They would get mad if you're in the blocking situation and you jumped out of their way because they just wanted to launch themselves at you and smash you, and then they'd get pissed and claim that you weren't giving them a good look, you know. Like a 104-pound kid was gonna, even make any sort of resemblance to what actual live game situations would be. But one thing I do have to admit um, is that when I was the returner when I would get the ball, I was somewhat elusive. I could dodge the first couple tacklers even as a seventh grader. Not that these guys were that highly skilled, but I was shifty and small, and I remember squeaking like in between them a lot of times, and I think it was just because I was so small and um, pubic hairless. Anyway, uh, one thing that fortunately happened to me throughout the season was I broke a bone in my foot, and that was actually pretty early on. So I didn't actually have to practice until it healed up, but I soon realized that um, being injured was a lot less painful than actually practicing with these guys that love to abuse children. So I decided what I would do is, just keep my foot nice and broken. Um, I would take my shoe off, and like there was a door stop out on an for an outside door that just basically stuck up from the concrete pad about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 inches. And I would put my foot on it and feel where it really hurt to put my foot on the doorstop. Then I just stomped down on that repeatedly, just to make sure that my foot would stay broke. And it did, like through the entire season. Um, You know, it was a self-preservation move. So, you know, you can call me a wussy or whatever, but I survived. Anyway, you know, that was really my first experience with varsity football. Now, you know, of course, you know, I weighed 104 pounds as a seventh grader. By the time I was 21, I was pretty solid 248 pounds. At 23, I weighed about 290, pretty solid. My dad, until recently, was about 320, like 6'4" and a half, 320 pounds, and then he slimmed down lately. But you know, the size of an NFL lineman, just ridiculous. So I was just a late bloomer. Not that anything would have changed for me athletically, but you know, I did become a large guy, strong, fast, whatever, for my size. It was kind of an odd twist of fate. But anyway, I was able to at least enjoy being small most of my childhood. I would say all of my childhood, but, and small and pubicless. In fact, pubic hairless. In fact, I believe it was going into my freshman year, or maybe even sophomore year yet. I had so few pubic hairs in my groin area that I took like a black marker and tried to like draw in more pubic hairs when it was time to go for the annual physicals in the fall, the sports physicals. And you know, I did that the night before, and then I remember, and not necessarily like draw them on the skin, but like take the ones that were just peach fuzz, and you know, try to make them black. Just because I was totally self-conscious about not having pubic hair. And I did that the night before, and then the next day I was like, geez, you know, this is really, it actually did get onto my skin, so it looked like I just totally took a marker and tried to draw in pubes. You know, what kids do. Anyway, I got my physical, and the doctor, he asked me like repeatedly, how old are you? You know, how old are you? And I was like, I'm a sophomore. He's like, are you sure? And, you know, did you skip a grade? You know, where are all your pubes? He didn't actually ask me that, but I know he wanted to. And he, you know, he actually took one of my nuts and rolled them between his finger like that. That was really uncomfortable. But later on, I heard that the doctor, one of the seniors that was getting a physical, he was saying how the doctor was really impressed with his physique, like almost too impressed. Like, you have a really nice build, is what he kept saying to that guy. So at least, you know, I wasn't quite what the doctor was looking for, which makes me glad to this day. Have a nice day.